Super Smash Bros. And Amiibo are big initiatives for Nintendo. But now it's time to give you a sneak peek at some of the many projects in development. Whenever I'm over in Japan and lucky enough to see these new games, I'm reminded of the first video game I fell in love with, Super Mario World on my Super NES. I played it endlessly, finished with 99 lives, and I still have that cartridge. I bet you remember the first game you fell in love with too. Those of us who play games know that there's nothing quite like them in the world. And those of us who love Nintendo know that no matter what's going on in our lives, we can always count on these games to deliver fun and great gameplay. Because it's Nintendo. But what is it like to make these games? Well, you're about to find out directly from our development teams. They're working on some amazing new projects that underscore the point that there's never been a better time to play games on Nintendo platforms. At the end of the day, Nintendo game creators share one belief. There's nothing wrong with having a little fun. With that, I'm going to step aside to let our developers show you their new games. Enjoy the rest of the show.
I'm Tezuka of Nintendo. How do you do?
I'm Ebisu of the Goodfield Company. Thanks for having me.
When Nintendo reached out to Goodfield, we didn't ask them to make Yoshi's Woolly World as a sequel to Kirby's Epic Yarn. We said we wanted to make a Yoshi game. But we asked them to use the yarn and fabric as materials for creating new gameplay mechanics. To create a new kind of Yoshi game filled with those kinds of elements.
For Kirby, we used strands of yarn as the core element and expressed things through their movement. This time, now that we were working in a three-dimensional world with depth, the challenge was that a single strand wasn't going to be visually impressive. So how do you play with a pile of yarn? Or some cloth? We thought about those things pretty hard.
They get unraveled and knitted up, and do a lot of things like that. Both Mario and Yoshi games are 2D action platformer games. The big difference is that Mario games are about performing challenging tasks within a given time limit. But with Yoshi games, they don't have any time limits. So you're able to freely explore the vast game world. You can make new discoveries. It's turning out to be an action game where you can have fun in a wide variety of ways.
When you usually make an action game, things like how far you can jump are set at a certain distance, so you would build the terrain with that in mind. But in the case of Yoshi, he's so almighty. If he tries, he can fly as far as he wants. His tongue is the most powerful weapon. Well, it may be weird calling it a weapon. So, as we were thinking about how we should build the game, Tezuka-san told us that it's centered around exploration. We took it as Yoshi's abilities are there to be utilized for exploration. From there, we were able to progress with the game's development smoothly.
By using yarn, there are new ways to explore.
There are a lot of transformations in the game because Yoshi himself is made of yarn.
So this time, we put in two-player mode. Two Yoshis appear, and that actually plays really well. Two people can play to help each other out. So in tough situations, if there are two players, they can both overcome it. Yoshi can eat up and spit out the other Yoshi wherever he likes. This is really important in co-op and can be used in a way to attack the other player. Really, a wide range of gameplay is possible. We've made prototypes of different ways to express the yarn fabric for Yoshi. And we felt that the stuffed yarn Yoshi was particularly attractive. There was quite a phase of trial and error until we decided to go with the current form.
Yeah, this time it's about a textured look. And we also wanted to give the world a handmade feel. But we then asked, what makes things look handmade? We tried making things of our own, hoping that it would help in reflecting the handmade feel to the game.
There is certainly a key phrase that I have. It's amazing Yoshi. I always want to put in the element of surprise. And I want to make it a game that brings a smile to your face just by owning it.
Here you go!
It's like Pokemon style.
Oh! Hello!
Hello?
Hey, look, I'm really sorry about kidnapping you 80 plus times, but my bad. So is it cool if I have the last donut? I deserve that.
Last year, I said that revisiting the conventions of the Zelda series would be our theme for the new Zelda game for Wii U. However, before I get into that, let me talk about something that I needed to help to realize this ambition. In fact, it's something that we wanted to do for a long time in the Legend of Zelda series, and so development began with this as our focus. In the earlier releases of the Legend of Zelda games, players got to explore a wide area, scrolling up, down, left, and right. However, after the game transitioned to 3D and the hardware continued to evolve, it became harder to create that feel of being in a vast world. For example, in Wind Waker, we used various techniques to create a wide world where you could freely explore many isolated islands. But it was very hard to create one large world where everything felt connected. We had to design small, bounded areas with a defined entrance and exit. And putting them all together made it feel like you were playing in a large world. But you still couldn't cut through the boundaries wherever you liked to explore that world. Today, I'd like to talk to everyone about the latest Zelda game for Wii U. But first, please take a look at how the game looks on screen. This is the new world of Zelda. It's quite a vast world, isn't it? You can even reach those mountains in the distance if you walk far enough. We couldn't create such a wide world like this in the past. As far as what you can do with such a vast field to explore, as soon as those boundaries are removed, it means you can enter any area from any direction. So the puzzle solving in this game begins the moment the player starts to think about where they want to go, how they will get there, and what they will do when they arrive. This is a clean break from the conventions of past games in the Zelda series, where you had to follow a set path and play through the scenario in the right order. I believe this departure will create opportunities for new gameplay that have not been experienced in previous Zelda games. As you can see, and as you know from the Zelda series, the world in these games can be quite peaceful. However, it is a Zelda game after all, so strong enemies will certainly appear, even in this setting. Powerful enemies appearing in such a peaceful world is one of the defining features of the Zelda series.
I think that's one convention we can keep, right?
I know where this is going. Yeah, I know this.
Take those gloves off? No! Take my gloves off, do whatever I want. Here we go.